Secret House.
Bringing you a very festive Christmas Eve review of an album of ours. We out here in Texas. Hit the like button. Hit the subscribe button. Hit the bell for notifications. Share with your friends and family and your mom and all the people that may enjoy this type of content.
You said we
Show
in
it to your
Texas?
cat.
No, I thought did I say we in Texas?
Yeah.
You did say we in Texas.
Hey, we out here in Texas today. Texas, Ikebukuro, Tokyo.
Got the same
What?
aesthetics.
Yeah. No, fuck Texas. Actually, I'll never go back. For all our listeners
Wow.
in Texas, congratulations for living in Texas. I'm just not going back. They shot my nephew 5 times 2 years ago
I
in
wouldn't go
Houston.
back
I'm
either.
not going back.
Yeah.
But anyways, Secret House album
House.
reviews. Today we are reviewing the newest album, which came out several weeks ago, maybe months ago at this point. Rule of Thirds by Planet Asia, MC Planet Asia, produced by MC Producer.
Evidence.
Yeah, it's a short album, 33 minutes.
13 tracks though.
13 tracks, 33 minutes. Maybe that's like a 5%er thing. He's thinking about, Rule of Thirds. You know what I mean? Rule of Thirds,
Wow.
33 minutes.
Isn't it his third album this year? Did I imagine that?
I know Evidence came out with Unlearning Volume 1 earlier in the year. And Planet Asia came out with another album too. I forget the name of it, but it's got a blue cover. I didn't really get into that one. I
saw that one, yeah.
I didn't give it a fair listen.
Pretty sure that he's released 3 this year.
I think you're probably right about that. Fairly prolific writer, MC. The quality of bars never diminishes. It never drops. It's always the same quality of dope across all of his projects.
He has a remix album too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, for the
Oh,
Rule of
they
Thirds.
just
Yeah, just
okay,
dropped.
okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, well, let's talk about a little bit about what we know about each of these cats. I'll say first, I have been a fan of both of these guys for over 2 decades, around 2 decades. Since Planet Asia was with Cali Agents, him and Rasco, West Coast, all the way through Strong Arm Steady. He's only gotten better in his career. Big fan of them. The last album I really liked from him was probably Anchovies with Apollo Brown, which is probably the last Apollo Brown album that I really enjoyed, even with that Stolly that came out earlier this year, which is pretty good. Evidence, Dilated Peoples. I think that he is also a cat that has been getting better over his entire career. Both of these guys have been mainstays in hip-hop music for this whole time, and it's kind of crazy to think about how deeply embedded Evidence is into like the community. I mean, he used to drive kick it with Kanye West before Kanye West was big, driving around and shit. But yeah, both of them are really dope. Are both of you guys familiar with them at all?
Yeah. I've liked Dilated Peoples for a long time. I like Strong Arm Steady. I was like aware of Cali Agents. Although this is like the first time I've like just sat down and listened to a whole collection of Planet Asia solo tracks. I was like aware of his other 2 albums. I might have given them a passing listen. But this is the first time I've like sat down and had a deep listen to just Planet Asia by himself.
Same here, drive-by fan. It's like, oh yeah, that guy. Okay, but I've never sit down and listen to a body of work. But let me tell you, boy, I was happy I did.
Word.
I was like,
the person who I did my Tokyo-based podcast with, shout out to Mega Late Show. Go find those episodes on Spotify and all the other places. My partner Late, he got into Planet Asia later, and he, as he went back through the catalog, he was like, "There's a point where I don't like Planet Asia," and I think that it kind of shows he has progressed as an MC to the point where he's like just like. I don't know. His rapping is very effortless now, and it just all sounds good. Whereas like some of the earlier, especially the Cali Agent stuff, it's a little bit more simple California type of hip hop. It's still fairly lyrical, but it's not a lyrical miracle approach. Not that he does that now.
No. Effortless is a great way to put it.
But he's very good at using poetic devices now, assonance and everything. He's fucking great now.
Sounds like somebody been in the game for a while and actually found his pocket.
He's
like
a veteran.
Dead ass.
Yeah.
He sounds like a veteran too.
Yeah. So what do we think about this album? Why don't you start? Because I know you were kind of like you made a couple points in the chat to be like, yo.
Yeah, man. Like dead ass. Had I heard this before, it probably would have been in my top 10. Like dead ass. But this album was like the closest thing to grown up gangster music ever for me. It hit all the notes of me in the past while still managing to be like grown up. It didn't like come off like, yeah, I'm in the trap and I'm whipping up the baking soda, like braggadocious. It just came back like as a matter of fact. Like the most gangster song on there was like Staying Dangerous. it's the most gangster song I've heard this year. The whole album just reeks of authenticity. Like, I believe everything this guy is saying. Like, there is not one point in here I didn't relate to or I didn't feel like growing up from an underserved community. Like, yo, this album was just everything to me, man. And let me say something too, man. One great thing about this album, immaculate song placement. It progressively gets better.
Really well sequenced.
Like, it gets
record,
better. Like, first time I heard number one, I was like, okay, it's all right. Number two,
See, I
like,
thought it started hard.
Really? See,
I like Jason Bond.
see, Jason Bond was all right. I was like, okay, cool. Need some drums.
He talked about eating expensive rice on there. That resonates with me.
You know, no, the bars what got me, right? The beat itself, like, I think I text you guys, like, the beats, I'm not really feeling these beats. But that's because I was only 3 in. But, oh, my God, then, was it 1984 came in?
Yeah.
I'm like, oh.
It sounded like a 1960s cartoon sample or some shit, yeah.
I was on. I'm in now. Like, it progressively got better and better and better. I was like, yo,
That
when is it
next
gonna
track
fall
as
off?
well, Bar Fight with
Bar Fight is the
Homogenesis.
best one on there. That's my
That
favorite
beat-
song.
That
Like,
is one of my favorite
Insane.
beats of this year so far. Like, I don't know how it managed to be so pretty and so dusty at the same time. It's like being in an antique store.
Then Thin Wood also was like dope as hell, bro. I'm like, why didn't I think about saying money like that? Like, yo, this guy is owning something.
Word. You know, I kind of feel like it took me a while to like pick up. When I first read the title, I was like, okay, whatever that is. And then when it clicks, it's like, oh, okay, yeah, it's really dope.
Yeah.
There's a lot of there's a lot of like really good qualities about them working together. With me, Planet Asia is just always good at rapping. It's kind of like if the production doesn't speak to me, I'm not so interested in what he does. It doesn't vary too much. The topics, the concepts don't vary enough for me to really get pulled into Planet Asia sometimes. So when he has weaker production that I feel like I don't like, I don't get into it. But with Evidence, like I do enjoy the majority of these beats, and I think they work really well together and complement each other.
Likewise, I think the only problem I have with the beats on this is that I feel like Evidence doesn't know how to end a song sometimes. Like, sometimes the beat just ends. And, like, on Boom By it works because it just suddenly abruptly cuts off immediately after Planet Asia's talking about his gun. And
Right.
it
It
just
sounds
feels like
intentional, though, to
like
cut
he's
off.
just shot you and then that's it. Like,
Right,
you're
right,
dead.
right.
That's the end of the track. But you hear like a very quiet laugh after that as well. Like, the track cuts, your Boom By cuts out and you just hear like immediately after. But like some of the tracks I was just kind of like the last track on the album as well, I think.
Highlander, yeah.
The Highlander
Highlander.
sample go hard though.
The beat's dope, but then like it kind of just ends.
I
And
was okay with that though.
I kind of wish like he'd either let some of the beats ride a little more because I like the beats, or that he'd done something to switch them up at the end.
Disagree, man.
Sure.
I think
Okay.
he like left you wanting more. And I always believe end on a high note. Like don't stay there. Get in, get out. Jack move. Sticky move.
I guess it did leave me wanting more,
Yeah.
and that's kind of what I didn't like. It's like, just give me some more, man.
For me, I think it was like some of it, like none of the beats in particular, except for Bar Fight, a lot of them sound very similar in terms of tone to me.
Tonally, sure.
And it's hard for me to remember beat to beat because they're so similar. When I think of the track title, like which one is that, which beat is that, and it kind of all
fair.
bleeds together for me, which is a critique I would have about other producers as well. But together they sound good. If these came out as singles, I'd probably be like, oh, that's a great fucking single from them.
Definitely.
And they're all really good. I don't know exactly which ones I like the most. I do like Jason Bond. Of course, Bar Fight is great.
Best one.
I also am a big fan of Stay for the Credits.
The best opening line ever. Mumble rap like Kurt Cobain. I was like, damn.
Evidence is hard on that.
Kurt
Evidence
Cobain
also
cannot
has
sing.
he also has that Trading Places line, looking good Billy Ray, feeling good
Yes,
Lewis.
that just
yeah,
hard.
that Trading Places line is hard too. The Boom Bye, at first I didn't like that track.
Right.
When I was listening to it on headphones, I was like, it's like I understand what they're doing. It kind of reminds you of like Stroke of Death from Supreme Clientele. It's like an off-kilter sample loop that repeats and repeats and repeats. And at first I was like, nah, this isn't good. But when I played it on the speakers, I was like, I get it. I get it a little better now.
Okay, you actually hit one of the critiques I made. Because when I was listening to it in headphones, I thought it didn't have no bottom. I was like, man, this ain't got no bottom, no bass in this junk. Then when I played it on my studio monitor, I was like, oh, there you go.
Okay,
It's
yeah.
just like a preference of how they mixed it, man. They just really ducked all the bass. And I
It's
didn't like
also
that
not
in headphones.
It's really not a headphones album. Like
Yeah.
I
It's a little
can't-
dreary on headphones.
Yeah, and just even
Thin,
the way
very
you
thin.
listen to it, you know, there are certain albums that you're supposed to listen to in a comfortable chair in a dark room with some headphones on.
Maybe a little bit of.
a little bit of
And it feels like that too.
right.
That's one thing I think is not really spoken about a lot. Like some albums, like if I listen to like Astro World, that's a bad example because I don't want to talk about the gentleman that made it. But if I listen to like The Chronic on a pair of earbuds, I'm missing some of the intention that was put in
Yes.
that. That's supposed to be played loud in the speaker where the bass
That's a great
also
point.
the vibration plays a part in your experience of it. And with this, like the headphones experience wasn't as dope as my like speaker experience.
That was
for me.
actually a good point you made right there, because that's the thing about growing in the South. We had the car culture with subs and everything in there, so music was made to be digested, and that music was something you felt. You needed that bottom. So I kind of get it, like how you digested music really makes a difference, because my homies in the East Coast, they didn't have car music, they had stoop music. So
I live in a small
Boombox.
apartment in central Tokyo and do not own speakers right now.
Yeah, we gotta get you some speakers, dog.
I got a little
Small
Bluetooth
one.
speaker, a little Wonder Boom.
I use, I listen, usually when I listen to albums, I listen to it on my phone because I'm always on the move
Right.
commuting. I'll listen to it in my living room with my television speakers, which is so-so. And then I'll try to put it in here as I'm cleaning and doing stuff. And this is like, you can't see the speakers, but I've got a turntable set up and I've got decent speakers here to listen to, placed strategically for that experience. But yeah, it sounds good. But of course, I think the biggest standout of this album, though, is the lyricism. The lyricism
On
to
point.
me is just really strong at times,
point.
and it highlights the veteran ability and the levels to
Skill
to
at play,
skills of just nonchalant rapping. And there's like an off-kilter aspect to Planet Asia's rhyming that's really unique to me at times. Kind of like Breeze Bruin from Juggernauts. He always used to get a lot of props for his ability to like make you anticipate a lyric and then change the
cadence,
direction
yes.
of it. So you'll be focusing on this rhyme scheme, and then he'll pick up on one of the internal rhymes, the syllables or the assonants, and end the sentence with it, leading into the next sentence, and then bring it all back together again.
Cadence
He's so
game, crazy.
He's
and he
so
doesn't
dope
sound
at
like
that.
he's trying too hard either.
Yeah,
It reminds me of like those videos there was that guy that went viral a few years ago. He was like a professional gymnast and he'd just do some wild fucking tumbling shit in like a supermarket.
yeah.
You know, he's just like having a conversation and be like, yo, wait a second. And then he just like do a backflip.
Yeah.
And it's like no effort. And he just carry on the conversation. That's how it felt.
Bro, like he's just good at rap. He always has been good at rapping, but at this stage in his career, it's so effortless
Yeah.
and seamless. And like I wrote down some lyrics here on Stay for the Credits. Visions of Satan trying to rough me up and down to the station. My foundation,
Yes.
tribe of Jabbar. My jab is stiff. My narrative fabulous. Carrots plus a parrot's on the wrist. This brother's bubbling. Like the way he goes from like that suffix rhyme station foundation, then he throws in the Jabbar in there with jab and stiff, but also rounds it out with narrative, carrots, parrots, and then wrist from the art. Like
Cadence game crazy.
Like you know those videos where it's like studying the rhyme scheme and they got all the colors and
Yeah,
shit,
yeah, yeah.
and it's over like examined to a degree.
Yes.
Because it makes every single sound something that's strategic when it's not. But I do feel with some rappers like Doom and people that focus on these poetic devices like an Earl or name somebody. This shit is just intentionally his dope constructions
thought
in his head
process,
of
yeah.
the way words work.
simple in its complexity.
Yeah.
I really felt like this was simple genius.
Yeah.
Because the cadence game is so damn strong on this, man. You knew when a punchline is gonna hit. Then when you thought it was gonna hit, it switched. Like, yo,
Yeah,
hey,
it's
you had me.
textbook. Like it's like
Yeah.
textbook good rapping.
Yeah, I mean, 1984. I'm the best part settled. Fragile foes throw stones from glass houses that
Houses.
shatter and crash from one pebble.
Pebble.
Levels.
I heard
this
that,
is
Doug.
Asiatic. Like, like that scheme. Like he sometimes.
One pebble.
And sometimes it's like, it's pretty typical kind of bars and going off, but then he'll have like one bar to restructure the kind of like, and then it just goes off.
Start
and,
scheme all over again.
And you can tell that evidence is producing this because a lot of parts on the album where, a normal, somebody that made a beat just lets it ride, but Evidence will introduce like a little bit of a change when when like a bar changes the direction, and it's very subtle, but you pick up on it quite a bit.
Those little things matter, like dead ass.
It's really fucking live. Even the second track, Live from the Kremlin, how it's that first beat and that second beat. I don't know how well they worked that shit out or what they planned, but it just works together very well.
I was like, oh, you took it down too. I wasn't impressed by that. I was like, oh, you just took the sample
No,
down
I mean,
too.
like I just like that transition because there's also like a lyrical change that happens during that too, an approach to it, and it's just nice I like when there's movements and there's changes. It's almost like having an extra track on the album to a degree.
I was going to actually say that because that's going to be one of the critiques of the next album we review. But yeah, I'm a switch up guy myself. I need like something to change up, and that's my gripe with a lot of this music that y'all been introducing to me. It's just all sample based, and the sample just goes on and on and on. Like, my guy, you found a good sample, but can I get something else to it, some layers, some dimension? But this album right here, the lyrics were damn strong that I didn't mind. Like, even the tracks that the sample kept on going and going, the lyrics just that damn strong.
I mean, honestly, the production on this makes me want to go back and look over the Dilated People's discography and look at what Evidence produced on it, because I've never really thought of him as a producer like that.
Oh man, he's been really dope over the years. Like his albums, I think that his work now is much better than it was on Dilated.
Okay,
like Dilated has a sound, it's dope, but like what he does now is like he's really good. All his Weatherman projects, the Unlearning project that he did this year, he's dope. He's also king of the slow flow. Like his flow is so slow, but he's really really dope at it. His production is great. And actually this album came out
the slow flow. 8 Ball.
I mean, okay, I feel you. I have nothing to argue against that actually. What was the last 8 Ball album that dropped though?
Okay.
This is all I'm saying. But this actually this album came out on Evidence's new label, which is called Bigger Picture Recordings, and I think that there's a lot to look forward to.
Oh, I'm gonna submit some tracks to you right now, my guy.
I mean, Evidence is huge.
Be looking for that.
I think his last few joints might have came out on Rhymesayers. At least like one of the Weatherman joints came out on Rhymesayers. But what about the features on this? What do you guys think about the features? The Rome Streets feature was fucking ill. It's one of my favorite verses on the album. Rome Streets comes so hard on it.
Who was that?
Pocket Change.
Yeah, Pocket Change. He came
Rome
up hard.
Streets is dope on that.
But really, I wasn't there for the features. I was there for Planet Asia. Even the features were good. They were solid. But you know how it's that time that sometimes you listen to somebody's album and the features outshine the master?
That's a little bit how I felt about that track with Rome Streets on it.
That's the only one,
so
though.
hard.
Yeah, that's the only one, though.
13-track album with one.
That's the only one. That's the only one he got killed on.
There's another cat that I didn't know that was on this
Milo
shit.
Constantino.
Yeah, Milano Constantine or Constantino, maybe. Yeah. I didn't really didn't stick for me. Maybe I'll check them out in the future. You know what I mean? But the Damo, I always want to say Domo.
Cool,
I always want to say Domo.
Domo arigato.
Yeah,
Domo?
because no, it's Damo, right?
Been in Japan too long.
He stylized it Damo Genesis, but he's great on the chorus.
Yeah.
I was expecting
His
a verse,
hook is
but he's
cool.
great on
Yeah,
he's great on the good hook. Yeah. I think that's it. Oh, and Evidence, of course,
Right.
which has a really dope, verse. You expect it. He produced it. It was great.
What would you
I'm
rate
glad-
this
like-
album, though?
Oh,
Like,
okay.
yeah.
Can I air some gripes about this?
Oh,
though?
please.
Get that hate off.
All right. I mean, earlier you said this like really spoke to you in a way because it sounded like mature from the game drug rap,
Yes.
right?
Not drug rap. I'd say hood rap. Man.
Hood rap. Well, that's one of the things that I kind of like. I don't look. I used to be God Body too, and he's God Body. It's sprinkled all over this thing, right? And I was born God when I was 15 years old. That's why they call me Mega Master Equality God Allah. It's just been a name that stuck. Members of my family call me that. My sister has a tattoo of my name, Mega, on her. And so being a God Body, I'm kind of concerned about some of the content that he's talking about here. And it's a gripe that I have, a legitimate gripe I feel about most God bodies and these cats that call themselves God bodies. Because to me, it doesn't seem like they're on their dean. It don't seem like they're on a square. And it seems like the only thing that they ever talk about with the God body shit is all the surface level God body, supreme alphabet or 10% or all the simple 5% lingo. And there's never any substance to it. Planet Asia.
No substance in this?
No. I mean, when when it comes to 5% theology, there's no lessons in there. There's nothing in this is telling you to advance yourself. There's nothing about this is Pan-African even, or even black separationist. There's a projection of a politics and ideology that to me always rings hollow with a lot of these 5%ers.
I thought this was reflective though. I thought this whole album was reflective of somebody who made it out of that. Maybe that's why.
Well, he's not though. He's talking about still selling drugs. And he didn't talk about that 20 years ago, so it leads me to assume that him as a grown man now is supplementing his. I mean, sure.
When he said it, he was talking about like, "Yo, this is what I can do." I didn't think he was like projecting like I'm doing this not.
No,
right
he quite often says things about him in the dope game and shit. Quite often in a present tense.
See, that connected with me because I thought that was somebody talking about, yo, this is what I've did and this is what I've done and I will do it again if need be.
Here's a line from here. We got that poison, we got that pure. Short for whatever vice, we got it here. What you looking for?
That doesn't say I'm selling drugs though.
But he speaks about it. He speaks about it in the first person as if it is present continuous.
Ah, man, I think you analyzing too much. I think
I am analyzing it because he got body.
Too much though. I think that was just like, yo, this is what it is where we're from. Not saying I'm doing that, but I should be able to speak to what.
That's where I disagree with you because it very much is spoken about in a present continuous form right now as if he still does that. And that's one of the issues I have.
I mean, we can't start breaking down grammatically. Like, yo, did you actually do this in the past continuous?
Supreme alphabet.
I mean,
you got to break it down grammatically.
Well, what I'm talking about though is as a person who is of God body and feels like I can legitimately critique some of these things, I feel as though a lot of his content is not there, and I feel as a grown as a not that he has any responsibility towards that, but it's one of the things. It's one of the things that I just kind of feel like rings to me. It's always the smartest dumb cat in the room type of shit. He literally calls people pseudo intellectuals on this,
that was hard,
and I don't, and it sounds good, but I don't hear him saying anything deep either, and that's kind of the critique about it. It's like, if you, where are all the God bodies that are talking? Like, I've never heard anybody say anything that wasn't like a cosmic fact or something that you could Google and find out the supreme alphabet. They don't talk about like even the 4 parts of a woman or anything that is a black radical politics associated with that. They've been so firmly neoliberalized by fucking late stage capitalism that there's no radicalness to the God body shit anymore. And I'm wondering where my God bodies are that do talk about that shit. Well, and that's my and it's not saying it has anything to do with his responsibility for his music, but to me, I listen to it and I get a different thing from the wisdom you're talking about. I get the opposite. I get like, are you really doing that? Like are these really the values that you have? Is this what you want to project, or is this just so you're making money?
Fair critique, and I get where you're coming from. As somebody who's not God body, for me it hit a little differently. It hit like, okay.
I just don't feel qualified to speak on that at all. Like, I've never been God body. I'm British.
British body.
My drug selling history will remain undisclosed. Yeah, no.
Fair critique though. I hear what you're saying.
I mean, if you talk like, look at somebody else. It was like the rappers who were left and were towards, you know, not necessarily God body, but towards the nation and towards black radicalism. You took it somebody like A. Sharu from Unspoken Heard. You ask these children, you know, talk about, what do your favorite rappers think about jail? What do they think about drugs? What do they think about women? And you ask those same kids what their parents think about that, and it's contrary to their value systems that they grew up with. And so, not that he's a huge rapper that has any responsibility, but I feel like if you God body, like, really talk about some God body shit. Other than that, you doing the same thing that the Wu-Tang does with it, which is just projecting it as a way to call yourself God and without much backing behind it intellectually. And I don't like that.
I don't know. I think it's digestible though, man. I think like, if you go too deep into philosophies and stuff, you're gonna turn off some people, which is cool. I mean,
there's
you know,
nothing though.
All right, okay.
It's really good. It's really good. Firmly in the underground category of rapping to rap well.
Okay.
And it's good at that. I mean, it's good.
I can disagree with that, but I see your point. Yeah.
I mean, I feel that way about a lot of it's not just Planet Asia, but I feel as though for me, there's a special critique that has to come with that. Because when I listen to Boldy James, I feel the same way too. It's like, man, you 38, you still selling drugs and talking about killing people. It's still the same to me.
I'll wait till we talk
it's
about
very
that,
similar.
talk about that.
It's very similar to me.
What would you rate the album though, Jet? On a scale of 1 to 10 or whatever?
Like a light 7, maybe a strong 6.
Same for me.
I like the beats. I like the rapping on there. I don't think it's transcendental. I don't think it's like, it doesn't personally speak to me either. Just generally is like drug rap. Hood rap doesn't. But no, I thought it was cool. I enjoyed it. It sounds good. It sounds real good. I like the production on there a lot. It's forcing me to reevaluate how I rate Evidence as a producer as opposed to a rapper and a member of Dilated Peoples. I will be listening to Planet Asia's output more after this. I never really sat down and just listened to a solo
His
Planet
name is
Asia
so
album.
dope. Like it's just
Planet
an ill
Asia.
ass name. That's my favorite name.
It's like, yo.
It's funny because
Asiatic black man.
That's true.
honestly, it feels like a producer's name to me.
Word.
It
like a
doesn't
group
feel.
name,
It
man, to
doesn't
me.
feel like a rapper's name.
Word.
to me.
Word.
I feel like if somebody was like, "Oh,
Got
yo,
like an
you
Asian MC
I know,
in the
right?
group.
Like, yo, Planet Asia, man,
They
they
break dance too and shit. Planet
They
Asia.
are killing
shouts out to Jin."
right.
it. Where he been?
Shout out to the group Planet Asia. Y'all hard. B-boy group. It's like a dance group and shit. Yeah.
Dun, dun.
Planet
Hit
Asia.
that
Secret
shit,
House.
hit that shit.
What would you rate it, Spade?
Yo, not gonna lie, dude. I would give this a strong 7.5, possible 8 on a good day. It's not like 9 or 10 because 9 or 10 is like just that's rare for me. But like a possible 8 is damn good. The only thing that really I didn't like about this, some of the beats didn't hit for me. But lyrically wise, man, this dude is showing his ass off. Like this is a master class on how to rap your ass off effortlessly. Like you said, it just like dude it seems like he's not even trying, but so much thought and care went into these damn lyrics and how he's presenting them. So yeah, 7.5 strong, possible 8 on a good day.
I'm about right there, right in the middle of y'all's. I think that's a good average number. 6, 7, 8. For a variety of reasons, and every single track on here would be rated that for me.
Right.
This is a 6, this is a 7, this is an 8 track, and for me, I'm just like, these are cats that I've been rocking with for decades, and it's good to see this because a lot of other fan favorites, they hear designer ain't here. Like this longevity is kind of unheard of.
Shout out for
in
experience,
music,
man. Seriously, because
Like-
it needs to be a lane for the older
Right.
rapper anyway.
I mean, like, try
I
to go
love that.
listen. Try to go listen to like some new You God shit or some new Capadonna shit. Like the old shit's great, but it's like a 5-year scam where their
fall
music
off
was really
happens.
hidden.
Yeah.
These guys are like, I don't know. They haven't peaked. They just every year just keeps on steadily getting better at the craft. These are craftsmen. This is real dope genre underground hip hop.
Right.
Like it's dope. I fuck with it.
Yeah, man. The progression is awesome, man. These guys are really showing their ass off rap, like you said. I
Word.
totally agree with that.
I didn't realize the window was open, so maybe you guys will hear a little bit of cars and shit. But yeah. Secret House.
Ambiance.
Secret House.
Oh, can I go out? I actually had a Planet, an old beat, one of my favorite beats from the Cali Agents that I found the instrumental to. Yeah, this shit came out. I used to listen to them on a wake up show at midnight and shit when I was a kid. Yeah, Planet Asia. Evidence. Rule of Thirds. Secret House.
Forever. Wait, no, we don't do that. We don't do that.
Hit the like if you like. Hit the bell
Like,
as
comment,
well.
subscribe, bell.
Right.
Share
Did
with
you
your
love
friends.
it? Did
all
you
that
hate
shit.
it? How would you rate it?
Do it
Secret
on the
House.
left, baby.
Yeah, in the middle. We say calm. We just drop bombs.